There we go. Sorry, guys. I didn't shower today. Good morning. It's Allison, or yet today. It's still early. Hi, it's Allison, and I help people stay accountable to their health and fitness goals, and I help other people do the same. So I didn't shower because I worked out, and I'll be 17 weeks pregnant tomorrow, and sometimes I just can't not eat for another moment or I'll throw up. There you go, a little tidbit in my life. But we're not talking about that today. But today we're going to talk about fear. Who has fears? Everybody? I know that I have in the past, and I'm not saying I never do it anymore, I'm saying I'm working on it. I have in the past let fear, just strangle me. Even talking about it, I can feel it in my chest, where I've just let it hold me back and it didn't do anything for me. I have gone so far as to I used to not be able to even order food. I couldn't call the restaurant and order because there was just fear in talking to people. So to say I've struggled with fear is an understatement. But that doesn't get you anywhere. A lot of times we will put off things that we fear, and that doesn't really get you anywhere, does it? It gives you more time to worry, more time to make up situations and scenarios in your head of how whatever action you're afraid of taking is going to result. And it gives you more time to build more fear. So, what I've tried to do, and not saying I'm perfect, I'm not saying I always do it, I'm not saying it always works, but what I've tried to do is instead of letting that fear build up, is just doing it. Because most of the things I fear are not things I can really get out of. It's not like I can just not do it. It's something that has to be done eventually anyway. It's just that I have fear about it. But usually what happens, especially for me, and now I know this is my own thing, I am not good with words. I mess things up all the time. I lose my words. I'm not good at writing things to come across very well. So a lot of the things that I fear have to do with that, and just wording things properly, and saying things in a way that makes sense. I tend to use a lot of words because I don't think I make sense. So if I'm telling you a story, I'll probably tell you 15,000 things you don't need to know and completely lose you before I get to whatever funny thing happened, because in my head you need all of that information, which is probably not true, but I can't filter what you do need to know and what you don't need to know to make the story funny. And I don't want to leave anything out because I'm so bad with words. I'm not good at making things concise. There you go. I just said a lot of words to say the same thing, right? So, but a lot of times I overthink things, and it doesn't help me make my point any better. In fact, it probably makes it 10 times worse to overthink it and fear it and go over it in my head a gazillion times. What I find is the best for me, and again, this is not a personal thing, but it's an example. But it's the example that I find myself having trouble with all the time. Usually the best thing for me is to get my first thoughts out. You don't have to send it right away if it's an email or a message or what have you, or you don't have to post it right away if it's a blog post or something on your social media, but to just get the words down somewhere to start that thought process flowing from your head. You can change it. I wouldn't recommend leaving it for very long, but just getting that out there and starting on it. It decreases the fear that you'll feel because it's already there. And yes, it can be very scary to press send on things, but by prolonging the process, it doesn't get any easier. It doesn't. The only time I've ever had anything feel easier is by doing it more, or, I put a lot of my fitness journey out there, which is something that I really struggled with at first. But along the way, a lot of people have mentioned how it's inspired them, it's helped them along, it's helped them to, make changes in their life. And that's what gets me to keep doing it. So that helps me over time. Now that's an overtime thing. But maybe looking at it in such a fashion where you are, instead of focusing on what scares you about it, focusing on how whatever you're saying can help a person or can inspire someone or can build someone up. Say you're sending an email that, maybe it's criticism or you're trying to be helpful to someone to let them know that something that they did wasn't quite right. That can be super hard. Maybe looking at it as what happens if you don't send it and they do this again to someone who's not so understanding of mistakes. Or you can think, if you're sending something, I have a hard time even sending something complimentary. Why? It's just something I do because I say things wrong a lot, and I always feel like something's going to be taken the wrong way, and so I struggle with that. But think about it. Who doesn't want some compliments? Hey, send them along, right? But the things that crawl into your head, usually built up there by things that have happened over your life that you've thought about over and over, and you should really get those thoughts out of your head, right? Because they're not serving you. But it's all those things building up that don't let you do something like compliment someone. That's silly. Don't fear that. So to sum it all up in a semi-concise fashion, take the fear out by not letting it prolong. Because when you prolong whatever activity, thank you for the hearts, I appreciate them. When you prolong that event or whatever you're fearing, it's not going to make it any easier. It's going to make it harder in your head. It's going to bring more things to mind that could go wrong, and none of that is serving you. So just do it. Do what scares you. Get out of your comfort zone, because none of that is serving you. All right? So do something that scares you today. Tell me about it. You can come talk to me on my Facebook page. It's Allison Getting Fit page. I'd love to hear from you. Have an awesome day. Bye.